Welcome to Playing with Knives. We are a channel that believes that food is a love language. Wood-fired garlic. And then I'm going to use it's just a steak American burger rub. I'm probably doing half to a quarter teaspoon of all of those when I'm putting them in here. And the goal here is to have enough spice to put on the rub evenly. You want to rub this into the meat first, and then I'm going to show you the next trick to get it in the meat well. So for that step, we're going to need a fork. I advise a longer fork, it doesn't matter, a metal fork is the way to go. So you literally just kind of massage this over the top of the meat. You want it to get well evenly spread so that it's over all of it. And then you take your fork and you literally just stab into the meat. And what that does is that carries all those dry spices down into the meat. Save this fork. You're gonna use it one more time before you put it in the sink. You're flipping the meat over and you're putting all that flavor into the other side. The rest of our spices go on now. And I know you're thinking or asking, hey, do I need to do this on the sides? You don't need to do them on the sides. You're not doing a heavy sear. This isn't a brisket. You're literally just trying to get this flavor into the roast. Watch your fingers, but be aggressive with the roast. And as you can see where the fat is, it's already kind of pulling apart now that the roast is warmed up, which is perfectly fine. It's not heat, it's just warm. So before I put this in the pan, I need to do one more thing. Now that I put all this on here, I need to seal this in, to seal the moisture and the spices in, I need to do an olive oil rub. And I'm about to do that here now in a second. The reason I wash my hands, I don't like my containers all covered in oil and stuff when I use them. So the olive oil I'm using is Terra Delissa this week. I just look for a good quality olive oil. I want it started in a dark glass container. I want to know that it's full olive oil, and I look for smooth, lighter flavors, but I also want the first cold press extra virgin. That's what I'm looking for. You just drizzle it on. If you use too much, that's okay, because you're going to put some in the pan too. And you just literally rub it in. And what that's doing is that's sealing all those spices in, and your roast will not, that is way too much olive oil, but it's okay, it's olive oil. Your roast is now going to hold its moisture because it's sealed in with that oil as it cooks. Now, I'm nestling this in here. I don't want it to be mangled or mashed. I want it to be kind of its natural shape because I want it to cook the way it should. I'm gonna take all this olive oil, all these spices, drizzle it over that roast as best as I can. And then everything in the sink that I've touched raw meat. Cleanliness is important. Now, I talked a little bit before about taking your aluminum foil and crinkling it together to create that lid. We're gonna do that, but we're gonna do that for a very specific reason. We've got all of these wonderful things in here, but, vinegar. You have to put vinegar. So vinegar is the acid. Remember, we talked about that. So I'm just gonna drizzle it over the top, and it's gonna be probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of vinegar. You don't want the entire thing to smell like vinegar, but you do want it in there. And I'm using rice wine vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. Love apple cider vinegar, it's probiotic. Since this is cooking, any probiotics would be destroyed, so I'm not too worried about it as much. Okay, before I do the foil trick, I'm gonna put all the potatoes around it because we want that starch cooking in. I don't care if the potatoes discolor. the trick I'm going to show you is how to keep color in your carrots or in your root vegetables. If you're doing whatever you're doing, you'd be putting beets in here. It will help keep the color of the beets. If you do put beets with red meat, it's going to turn the red meat red, and it's not going to look like it's been cooked. Just a heads up on that little hack. Okay. All that amazing juice. So these carrots are actually pickled carrots. So good. We pickled these here. We did, went to Costco, giant bag of carrots, too many carrots. So we pickled them. The pickling recipe is pretty simple. It's 2 parts, you get a giant jug of just distilled white vinegar. 2 cups of white vinegar, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar with mother, and you want to shake it up so it has that mother in there. And then you put as many carrots as you can in the jar. I put a slice of ginger on the bottom. I put mustard seeds on the bottom. And then once you put all these in, you want to put a slice of lemon on the top to make sure that the carrots are not exposed above the liquid. You want to pour the liquid up so it covers all of them. The lemon's acidic enough that nothing can grow on there. So what you're doing is you're basically creating a seal where they have to stay under that liquid, because that pH of 4 or below is what's preserving the food. But those probiotics are on there working, it's pickling, it's fermenting, it's doing everything it needs to do, and you come out with this amazing, even though I added no salt, this amazing, briny, citrusy, slightly sweet because of the carrot pickle. Okay, we're gonna take this, crump it up very loosely. Uncrumple it. And so if you're instead of a Dutch oven, if you're in a stock pot, you can see all those contours. That's what's creating all that surface area and all those angles for the water to drip down. Now, traditional French cooking uses the Holy Trinity, which is celery, onions, and carrots. But I don't want these beautiful carrots to lose their color. So I'm gonna put the carrots on top of the foil. All the juices are still gonna run in there. They're still gonna all cook for the same 3-hour time window. But we're gonna have beautifully colored red carrots at the end of it instead of orange carrots. So we're gonna put this on low. You're looking at probably 140 to 160 if it's gonna be in an oven, which is what we're gonna do. You can probably put it up to 200 if you're gonna watch it. But on the stovetop, you wanna set it to the lowest setting on the stovetop. Now before it goes in, we do need to add clean water. And the way you're gonna add the clean water is you wanna be able to see the side of the meat, and you wanna have enough water to come up and touch the meat. It's got that olive oil barrier. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure there's enough fluid in here. In the cookbook, it's gonna tell you exactly how much water to add. 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups. And remember, all that stuff is gonna cook down, and you're gonna have this beautiful, amazing meal. But that water that's going in there is to keep everything moist. If the water all evaporates away, which is something you're trying to avoid, then everything on the bottom is gonna start burning, and we don't want burning. That brown Maillard reaction that flavors food, that's excellent. However, burning is not so good because you can't undo the burning, but the Maillard reaction is bringing up the flavor of the food. The one thing I didn't add to this was coconut aminos. I'm gonna do that as well. Give me 1 second. Always have backups. Coconut aminos. So I love coconut aminos because they help to bring out the flavor of things. They're not salt, and they're a salt substitute for when you're trying to be lower sodium. Additionally, I don't know if you guys know, but if you're trying to get into ketosis, say you're trying to lose fat, instead of just something like general like weight. Coconut is going to help you get loose fat. So you could throw a teaspoon of coconut oil in here with this if you wanted to. Coconut aminos are going to help. Now if it's covered in sugar, it's not, but my goal here is to put about a tablespoon of coconut aminos in there. And the reason I want that is because it's going to bring in all the natural flavors of everything we put in. Drip it down the side. Tablespoon. So good. If you never cook with them, think of a less salty soy sauce. This is a great way to describe it. Okay, so now this is going to go in the oven on low. We're going to put it in for 3 hours. Once you have mastered this, knowing how much water to put in here, you can actually make this as a date night meal. Set it ahead of time. The night that you have the date, have this ready to go. Throw it in the oven on low. Go do whatever event is you're going to do. Maybe you guys are going to go ice skating or look at the out now. Or maybe you're going to go take a hike, walk, whatever it is. Come back and you have this amazing meal ready to go for dinner. Wonderful, wonderful date night hack. We will be back as soon as this is ready. We are now going to plate up this roast. So I got parents' wedding dishes. We're going to do just a basic platter. This is hot, but it's been sitting for a good 20, honestly 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to show you guys how to plate this up. You want to use the contrast of colors to make the food look beautiful. The liquid that's in the bottom of this pan can then be rendered down, reduced with the lid off on the stovetop to make a beautiful gravy if that's something that you want. It is hot, as you can see. So the carrots have retained their color. Carrots have retained their color. Beautiful tender. I'm going to stick them on the ends, that way we have a starting gauge. Rustic is perfectly fine. What I'll probably do with these carrots, because the skin is on them, I love the skin on them, is I'll probably drizzle a little bit of olive oil on them just to have them showcase a little bit better. Okay, so carrots are going on both ends. Now, you can see all that juice, all that beautiful flavor. The trick here is the meat itself. So, this has been sitting in the juice, just soaking everything up, which is wonderful. It's exactly what we want. It's so pretty. Put this on a separate plate just as a trick, because we want this guy on top. Okay, so now potatoes. And what we're doing when we're plating is we're making a nest for that roast. We'll probably break it up with a fork once we get it on the plate a little bit. Purposely doing the contrasting color because we're going to have, it smells so good. We're going to have all those mushrooms and celery as the base. This meal smells so good. Okay, so next comes the mushrooms, and the celery, and the onions. All those veggies. Okay, so we've made a little nest for them. We're gonna break them up with a fork. I am gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top, just like I said I would. Those hot carrots will glisten nicely. Black pepper, and then all that parsley. So here it is, rustic, homemade, beautiful roast. Now,